Good morning, teacher and everyone, and welcome to our presentation. It's a pleasure for us to present this presentation for all of you. We are going to talk about the chapter 9 of The Village by the Sea, advised by lecturer BCS. Now let me introduce my team members. So we have Chun, Minh Hua, Song Che, Petra, Samarit, and Somnang. As you can see on the screen, in our presentation, we'll focus on 4 major parts. The first one, which is the summary part, will be presented by Somnang. The second one, which is the analysis of the main messages of the chapter, will be presented by Minh Hua and me. The third one, which is the analysis between the study text, The Village by the Sea, and the real life. The last one, which is the vocabulary game for you. That's all for the introduction. Now time to tell the story.
After managing to find a workplace and start working, Harry was still needed to get accustomed to the new place, which was quite an arduous task. Every night, he had to sleep on a half floor while dealing with the heat in the kitchen. One particular night, if it wasn't for Mr. Pavela's notice and suggestion for him to sleep in the park, he would have gotten sick from sleeping in the kitchen, since the heat was too unbearable at that night. Sleeping in the park was not different and grand from the kitchen, but it was definitely a much better choice, since he did not have to deal with the heat anymore, while also having an opportunity to listen to the bird chirping every time he woke up. However, his longful tranquility didn't last long, as he was confronted by one policeman who decided to lash out his anger on him. He questioned and scolded Harry, and he told Harry to leave the park since he deemed him as a suspicious person. In the midst of this argument, one old gentleman decided to partake in it and solve this argument in its stand. He questioned the policeman back about why would he waste his time scolding Harry, who was just an innocent kid, whilst there were even more suspicious people who had committed many crimes. Around this area, the policeman made no arguments against that and decided to end this matter by allowing Harry to continue his sleeping in the park. In one afternoon, Harry was called by Mr. Pavela to sit beside him and watch him fixing an old grandfather clock. After watching him fixing the clock, Mr. Pavela suddenly raised a proposal of taking Harry as a disciple, since he thought that Harry might have a knack for watching magic. At that moment, Harry felt that a new door full of opportunities had just opened right before him, and he was so overwhelmed with excitement that he could only nod his head to accept Mr. Pavela's proposal. As for Leila, Kamal, and Bella, they were getting ready to bid the farewells to the De Silva families. Upon the departments and departures of the De Silva families, an old gentleman who dressed up in a really fancy and formal clothes came as a new resident. Instead of touring the house immediately, he stopped at the palm trees and gazed at it for a while, which piqued the curiosities of Leila, Kamal, and Bella. Thanks to that, it leads to the three of them discussing about what was that old gentleman doing. What was he studying? Was it a tree? Or was it a bird? They were discussing about it for quite a while in the kitchen, just to later find out that he was indeed studying about a bird. He was a unique resident, as he was not expressive and often wandered in his own world. But at the same time, he was not demanding either, which makes the work loss of the three sisters less tackling. He would often spend his time guessing and sketching birds on his paper at a marsh. There was that one time where he stepped backward off the log and fell into the creek. Because of that, the three sisters had to try out his sketches, which has been done on the veranda. The old gentleman was very grateful for that, as he was giving money to the three sisters as a reward for trying out his sketches, and he quickly left due to the embarrassment. This also happened once again when he handed out the salaries to the three sisters while he left with the embarrassment. The three sisters left with joy and excitement after knowing that they earned enough money to stock up with the keychains and rice and supplies.
Greeting teacher and hello my beloved classmates. My name is Minho and also thank you Sunang for your gorgeous summary. So without any further procrastinations, let's grab our attention to the next part of our video, which is concerning to the main messages of the author based on psychoanalytic criticism. After learning chapter 9 of the studied text, The Village by the Sea, we can draw a conclusion that the author wanted to imply the reader with four main messages we have defined. First, he wanted to convey the readers with strangers' kindness. Concerning strangers' kindness, Harry, a young boy, came from the rural seaside and moved to the city Bombay to find work. In the city, he has neither friends nor family. He could survive just because of Mr. Jagu, a master in a restaurant, showing his kindness to a pitiful boy by offering him a shelter, food, as well as work in a restaurant. On the top of that, it is issued gratitude for Harry, for Mr. Penwala took him as an apprentice, offered him a part-time job, and influenced him to be a self-actualized person and full of confidence. Second, the author wanted to express Harry's physiological needs. Harry was working almost all day. Meanwhile, he was confined in an uncomfortable environment in a restaurant, which is a really hot temperature. He was nearly fall ill because of the suffering from lack of sleep. All he needs is to stay in a comfortable environment, but he can sleep there conveniently. Then, Mr. Penwala, a watchman there, appeared and suggested him to sleep in the park as it can provide him a cooler temperature, so he could sleep there in harmony. Since then, Harry followed his suggestion, and of course he enjoyed sleeping in that park, where it provides him a gorgeous environment. There are four main messages that we have drawn from the chapter 9, so the last two are going to be clarified by Chun. Thank you very much everyone.
Thank you Ho for presenting the first and second point of the main messages of the story. Now let's move to the third point, which is the safety need. This implies that all Harry needs is to sleep peacefully in the park. However, the park police does not want him to sleep there and try to vanish him away. Sooner, there's an old man walking across and criticize him for bullying a young man, but not going to inspect a group of drunkards. Then, the police was not bothering Harry anymore as he realized that what he has done to Harry was totally wrong. Since then, the park police was taking care of Harry every night. Harry also enjoys sleeping there confidently, which leads his life better than before. So now we come to the next point, which is rehabilitation. In this chapter, show that his father's self-actualization, that he realized what he had done was totally wrong and resulted in negative impact to his family. He then decided to accompany his wife at a hospital. What we find amazing is that he can give up his drinking habit and took care of his wife patiently. Lesson learned. No matter how hard one's life goes through, there are always solutions for it. Especially when we did something wrong, we still have time to rehabilitate and find our prosperous life. That's all for the second major part. Thank you for your attention.
Hello teacher and everyone, my name is Lai Sumaret. So for today I'm going to presentation about the task 3 that talk about analysis of connection between the study text and real life. So let's go for the first point is life is struggle. Harry was shown in the text that he tried hard to earn money from working in a restaurant to support his family when he had a chance to go abroad. This indicates Harry a passion in his life that he never gave up, but he found back for his own sake. In fact, everyone has their own hard time in life. It is just some are having much, but some are having less. It is not matter. What matters is how they let their life go. The real tasty part of life is about one's ability to control their passion and find a solution to eliminate their struggle ahead. Being struggle has its own merit on the surface as well, which is why Oscar Isaac, The Secret of Greatness, claims, "Be proud of struggles in your life that bring you closer to greatness." So let's move to the second point. It's about the real mentorship. Harry was a young kid lack of confidence in doing anything in his life until he met Mr. Panvelas, taking him as apprentice to make the watch and giving Harry a guidance for making his ambition and being confident in his life. In real life, no one was born with a bottle of knowledge. It required them to put their effort on catching or learning everything from their mentor. Those people should evaluate and pay back for their gratitude to all their mentor who helped them out of darkness. So here come to the end of my speech. So Petra will be continue to the next point. Yeah, thank you everyone for your listening.
Thank you, Maret, for your awesome presentation. And now it's time for me to present my part, which is the rehabilitation. And before kicking off my presentation, today I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sis Petra, and today I'm so pumped to present my part to the teachers as well as my fellow classmates. So, Harry's father missed his role, breadwinner of a family, and he was drinking every day. After his wife was sent to the hospital in Alibaba, he abandoned his drunken behavior and earned up a good husband, taking care of his wife. In real life, as human beings, when we commit things wrong, there is no such a word late for us to rehabilitate ourselves to a prosperous life. All past habits are just the water under the bridge, so we as human beings just focus on the bright future, like Eleanor Roosevelt once said. With the new day comes new strength and new soul. So my part has come to an end. The next presenter, Song Chae, he will be presenting Power Elite. So thank you everyone for paying attention.
So greeting everyone, my name is Song Chae and I will be clarifying you guys about the last point of this test, which is about the Power Elite. Based on the study text, it seems that the policeman abused Harry, who was just a pitiful kid with his power and status. This seems like what happened, and this is actually happening in our society as well. The elite colonize people with their abusive power, so those who are under them cannot resist and rise up as a rebellion. When they commit wrong things, they solve it by bribing people with a bunch of money to hide to the news, like a novel outbreak of some Okinawa scandal a few months ago. Going back to the last 4 decades, all Cambodian drama and nightmare were happened because of Pol Pot regime, which is also known as the Khmer Rouge generation. He eliminated school, religion, and order that could educate people. Citizens were forced to work in the field for more than 8 hours per day and barely having enough food to eat. To conclude, in the event that you are strong and vigorous, you are going to find yourself freedom. Just as Charles Rice once said, freedom is not merely the opportunity to do as one please, neither is it merely the opportunity to choose between set alternatives. Freedom is, first of all, the chance to formulate available choice towards you over them, and then the opportunity to choose. So here comes the end of our part for this test. Well, thank you for your listening.